actually have some Argos action for you today. It appears Dark Magician is getting some pretty major love and Nouvelles along with so much more. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. So we have Argos meteor reactor for you today. Now, I love Argos. This has been really cool to see some of the interactions that people have been pulling out of, the interaction window with this because, these little trap monsters are pretty good. But, we're also playing one copy of the home stadium, but we're also playing the meteor reactor stuff in here as well, along with, that's right, we do get to play the Hunter Dragon. We're playing the Toon Warrior. The Toon Warrior doesn't really serve any purpose. It's just another level 3 that we can have access to, which is fine. I mean, normally if you wanted to try to do some crazy little synchro plays, you could, but this build is not allowing for you to try that out. Outside that, I mean, some cool defensive options. Yeah, I see we're also playing one copy of Nouvelles in here as well. A deck like this, I mean, you are relying on the normal monster stuff to kind of get you to where you need to be, but then the Argo stuff is giving you that defensive line against the opponent. I think, personally, this is some really cool stuff. You never really see this, but I'll take it. Ooh, we have... This is a very splashed Dark Magician package in here. You're doing what? The 2 Dark Magician, 2 Souls, the 1 Illusion, with 1 Circle, some Eye of Timaeuses to cheese out the Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, and then I see that we are playing 1 Primite Resounding Reaction. Interesting art for that. That is definitely not correct, but interesting. Basically, this is going to be Primite control. You're going to be using this to kind of do the standard normal monster stuff. Drill Beam is an insane card where it is, and if you're like, oh, Robbie, this isn't Dark Magician, don't worry, we do have another Dark Magician list for you here. This will just kind of wet the palate and go, hey, you can play your favorite vanilla monster that you want to with this deck, and you can have access to it. That's what the Primite stuff was meant to do. It was meant to just give you interaction points to show, hey, we can do really cool things with this. All right, we also got Nouvelles. Still not even playing the burger, by the way. We don't even need it. I do like that we are playing and the band played on in here. It's kind of funny, actually, that the restaurant deck is playing and the band plays on, just to be able to overcome some of the BS that Rizal has. And, of course, 2 copies of the Corvature. You already know your interaction with the cuisine battle up here. I still think that this deck is one of the funner decks in the room that you can mess around with. Of course, hello, Diviner of the Herald. How are you? Of course, we are doing some Maximus interactions. I mean, why wouldn't you want to be doing this, right? Like, getting the ability to dump 2 things from the extra deck. Hey, look, free search, free draw 1. Or, a free negate, depending on how you have to kind of sculpt the hand and get the best results. But this is always going to be one of my guilty pleasure decks. Like, this deck has so many cool things going about it. It's just, do we play the burger or do we not play the burger is the question. Ooh, we have some Gladiator Beast action for you here. Now, I have seen a lot of people testing Glads, alright? But everything that I have seen that has held true has been because of this stupid good card right here. Rescue Cat being the good extender that you need it to be to deploy up, Beast, seems pretty good. I also have been seeing a lot of Invoker action in this deck as well. Like, don't underestimate what Invoker does. It's really of a shame, actually, because the TCG not having this really kind of puts this deck back a little bit, especially, with the Cat needing to resolve. Also, who would have guessed that Cat would have been the strong point for this deck? But also, Tamer Editor, the fact we're also playing double Claudus in here is actually kind of insane. And, of course, some standard stuff, side decking the Bestiari. Bestiari is no matter what you might think this card is so far from being like a good card these days, it's actually kind of nuts. All right. We have more action for Dark Magician. This is actually kind of funny because this time, we've got the Red Eyes Fusions in here so we can get to the Turbo Edition of this. We also have a copy of the Master of Chaos. All right, well, that's kind of cute, I suppose. This build actually kind of moving away a little bit from some of these ratios. I mean, 1 Drill Beam, the triple Lordly Load with a Run Roar, but you're just looking at more of the... You're just maximizing on insights instead. Like, insight to drop the Wyvern is actually pretty solid. You just got to remember, hey, can't unfortunately stack this up. Red Eyes Fusion just kind of being the the go-to path here is kind of interesting. I do see some of our extra deck choices down here kind of lead me to think maybe they were playing Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries in the side deck, but we don't actually have the side deck posted for this, unfortunately. But, you know, we could make speculation and go, hey, based on this, we were probably playing something to detour some of that insanity. Ooh, we have some Crystron action for you. I see we're also playing a Punk package in here. I think this is the first Crystron Punk deck that I have actually seen. I've seen standard Crystron stuff. I mean, the YCSJ had some cute little showcasing with some of the ideas that you could do with this. Basically, the Synchro Spam side of this, you know, good old Powered in Zektron and the Navy Dragon Mech, both of these cards getting some pretty major love right now in this deck. And I don't think a lot of people have kind of realized just yet that, maybe Powered in Zektron is something that we need to be keeping an eye on out here as things have been kind of developing with this deck. We're just in one of those really weird situations right now that this deck is still kind of finding its bearings. I also will say, I mean, I don't know anything about Crystron combo to save my life. I think that's going to be a lot of how this deck is going to work, right? A lot of people are going to continue to look at this and they're going to be like, huh? Yeah. It's a very cool deck, but it's got a lot to be desired. Ooh, some Cyber Dragons. There we go. We are playing the 1 Clockwork Knight to search for the Clockwork Knight. So 2 Clockwork Knights, 1 of the Link Monster, which is fine. Now this build's actually playing Cyber Dragons. So many of these builds that we have seen fairly recently, we're just cutting down Cyber Dragon to like a 1 to 2 of, because the card's not really all that good anymore. So actually traditionally having access to this is pretty good. I mean, still doing the machine dupe to bring these out. I mean, it's kind of the thing, right? Like, you're going to look at this card and you're going to be like, hey, you know, we're going to deploy the Cyber Dragons off the machine dupe. This is kind of what our identity is. A lot of the decks just choose to cut this. They don't want to deal with it. I do think most decks are kind of agreeing, though. You want to have the Power Bond present in the deck because it's such a strong blowout card when this actually goes off. So, overall, I'm liking this. I think that this deck does have a little bit of originality and flavor to it, and that's actually kind of cool. I like this. All right. We have some more Meteor Reactor for you. Now, this is with the Goblin stuff. We have definitely noticed that Goblins and the Meteor Reactors have been going together. Also, keep in mind that you're choosing to play the Baby Dragon for the Talcum Tumborgin here. Because, hey, if you have a Wind Monster, it's a free special summon. I can't imagine how much you're going to be stuck on a deserted island with the Baby Dragon, but you want to make sure that you have that consistent option if you really need to have access to it. Also, your Meteor Reactor package is not looking too crazy in terms of splashability in here. I think you're, what, like 11 cards total in the main deck, which is fine. Outside of that, I mean, full control against Ryzel, getting those detaches going off the Goblin stuff, and then the Meteor Reactor stuff is just going to help you kind of get an extra little steamroll of advantage so that you can keep that pressure on your opponent so you can, guess what, actually play the game. Seems pretty worthwhile to me. All right, next up we have, we actually have the Space Omanji Usagi seeing play in here. This actually is starting to show up as a level 1 tuner monster that a lot of the Lordly Load stuff has been starting to play. And of course, we are doing Primite shenanigans in here, which, guess what? With the whole Primite stuff, or with the whole Paleozoic stuff, you get some interesting little interactions. Now, this build is also playing a copy of Loss Time. Now, if your opponent's life points are 4,000 or higher, your life points become 1,000 less than theirs. So this is actually kind of how you recover after all these transaction rollback pings that you're going to be giving yourself. It's actually kind of a cool idea. I also do see we are playing 1 copy of the Snake Eyes Damned Dragon. I'm actually kind of curious to know what that's going to translate to. And we are doing 1 copy of the Rex Tremende in here as well. So we're actually getting access to some of those bigger push lines, which is really, really nice, actually. But outside of that, I mean, this list is definitely some innovation, to say the least. And we have some 60-card Earthbox showcasing Double Wild again, and I cannot stress this enough. This card has been very, very interesting. A level 5 or lower monster you control can't special summon after this card resolves except for the same original type. Well, I mean, I'm getting machine locked anyway, so, I mean, we get a free access to a free level 10 off of this. I will go ahead and do so. That's actually very, very interesting to see that Double Wild is actually a playable card in a deck like this. But outside of that, I mean, We got some pretty interesting innovation, to say the least, out here, and I like seeing that. So what do you guys think? Please, if you comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.